Iran marked one of the most significant days on its political calendar on Thursday, 31 years since the Islamic Revolution that overthrew the Shah and installed a clerical regime. The anniversary marks what the government says was the end of oppressive rule. But worries about potentially embarrassing protests from Iran's reformist Green movement were running high. The opposition was effectively contained.
The regime could not possibly celebrate the 31st anniversary of the revolution and allow protesters to demonstrate against the regime.
Welcome to Dispatch. I'm Marla Dial. Given the political unrest that's gripped Iran sporadically since its presidential election last June, there was concern that protesters might overwhelm the security system, as they did at Ashura celebrations last December. But Thursday's anniversary ceremonies were scripted to be peaceful and politically effective.
They again had the same problem of not having to resort to beatings and a brutal crackdown, because doing a brutal crackdown also feeds that perception that the regime is in trouble. So they decided upon having a single major rally at which the president would speak in Azadi Square. Now, Azadi Square is one of those places which is difficult to cordon off, but they blocked access to the square from the north and the east, and they allowed their supporters to come in from the west and the south. And in other words, they created a buffer zone and a sea of people who were government supporters, which became sort of a blockade for those who would try to come in and create chaos there.
With protesters kept to the perimeters, President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad announced that Iran had enriched uranium to 20%, a key threshold for international nuclear watchdogs, and claimed capabilities of enriching to 80%. The nuclear debate and possible sanctions against Iran are again returning to the spotlight.
With the regime feeling good today that they have finally checkmated the Green movement, so to speak, they will now devote their energies towards the nuclear issue and the international front and try to engage in the negotiating and brinksmanship process with much more, a confident attitude. So I think what we need to see is how Iran now plays on the foreign policy arena with the domestic situation more or less in better control.